On your instrument pilot check ride, there's a few subtle nuances within the ACS that I think you should become familiar with. Stand by. Remember, the Airman Certification Standards is the governing document for your entire check ride, the ground and the flight portion. It's actually incorporated by reference into the regulation as the only standard for all of your practical tests. So if you're unfamiliar with the ACS, get familiar with it now because it is the outline for all of your check rides. You're probably used to using the ACS as the tolerances and standards for all of your procedures and maneuvers. Remember that in the bottom pages of that document, there's a listing of typical areas of unsatisfactory, and they talk about tolerances. You can exceed a tolerance as long as you take what the ACS says a prompt, corrective action to get yourself back within, you're still considered satisfactory. And those generally hold true with your plus or minus 100 feet on altitude, plus or minus 10 knots on airspeed, and plus or minus 10 degrees on heading. However, within the instrument ACS, there's a new tolerance, and it's a 3/4 scale deflection on your CDI. You're used to having your instructor throughout your training telling you to stay within 3/4 scale deflection on the course. The difference, though, with the instrument compared to what you've been doing before is there's only a few areas within that ACS that say stay within a 3/4 scale deflection. The majority of the times, when it's associated with an approach or a procedure, it'll say no more than a 3/4 scale deflection, which means the walls are up. If you exceed that 3/4 scale deflection at that point on your maneuver in your check ride, it's unsatisfactory and you cannot take the prompt corrective action to get yourself back within. You should always strive for perfection in keeping that needle centered at all times, but know that you do have a little bit of a buffer left or right. And if you do exceed it, generally it's going to be an automatic unsatisfactory. I hope this helps you out going into your check ride, and I know it's going to make you more confident in the cockpit when you do get your instrument rating. I'll see you next time.